Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, the Drake Clipper. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, welcome back to another review. Today, the Drake Clipper, and thank you to everybody that has joined me. Cypher1, Heinrich, Archangel, What124, WinRar42, Zero Grav. You guys are all amazing. I know this ship is only meant for one person, but honestly, we love just going through all the ship, checking out multiple paints at once, and also just getting the best angles possible for you. Now, taking a look at this, it is $135 if you were to buy it on the Pledge Store for War Bond price, or if you buy it with store credit is $150. It's not available to purchase in game yet, but it will be sooner or later. Now, it does have a claim time of 8 minutes and 10 seconds, or if you were to expedite it, it's 2 minutes and 2 seconds, which is phenomenal for what this ship is. Now you're gonna ask, what is this ship? It is what's considered probably one of the first generalist ships out in the versed, and what that means is it could pretty much do almost anything, right? You do have combat capability. You have a tier 3 medical bed with limited range, but it's still nice. You have a crafting table for when that comes to the verse here soon. You'll be able to craft firearms, armor, all sorts of different things that fit on that table, which we'll take a look at, as well as the ability to lay in a bed, sleep, a kitchen. Everything you need to sustain life is right here on this ship. Now, this is a ship I feel like you can go and set up your base with, because you'll sit this thing down and start just supplying your own little homestead with this beautiful vessel. And I say beautiful, but she's ugly as sin, and that's just what's gorgeous in her own way. She's like a toaster or like a sunfish. There's so many things you can relate this thing to, and it's quite interesting. Now, it does have a 2,107 burst damage per second for the pilot, with the 2 size 3 Mantis GT220s that come stock, as well as the 2 size 3 Omskis. I'm gonna say it just like that because I know everybody pronounces it differently. Omniskies, Omskis, either way, they're there, and I would say replacing all of them sounds appropriate to me if you want this thing to actually do amazing out there in the verse. Now you have 3 size 3 Arrestor 3 missiles, 4 size 2 Ignite 2 missiles, and 12 size 1 Marksman 1 missiles. It has a heck of a payload on this ship, and that's actually really great because if you really were to take this into combat, I wouldn't recommend PvP. Is it possible? It just depends on the situation. PvE, you totally could. Absolutely. It's going to be interesting depending on what you're fighting, but you could totally do it. Now you do have 2 size 1 civilian grade D shield generators, giving you 2,800 bubble shield. I recommend upgrading that immediately to Palisades or something. Give yourself as much shield strength as possible. And the ship also has 26,350 HP. So allowing it to take a hit before, you're ultimately dead or having to run back home. And I got to say, it's probably better to run from a PvP fight than it is to engage most of the time with this ship. Again, depending on the situation. You do have a top SCM speed of 205 with a 405 forward boost, a 230 backwards boost, and a 1000 nav speed. Speed-wise, it's not like terribly slow, it's not terribly fast, it's just right there in the middle, right? So it's going to get you places. It's an A to B ship. It can definitely do bunker runs and keep you alive, but it's just a ship with so many general use, and that's why it's a generalist ship. Something you can go out there as like a nomad, without a nomad, but with a clipper, because we love them Drake ships, right? And set yourself up quite nice. Now it does have 48 flares and 5 decoys, which are size 1, of course, and that's average across the board. And then you have 15 SCU of hydrogen fuel and 1.7 SCU of quantum fuel, which I was able to jump all the way from the Crusader area to the Pyro Gate, all the way to Pyro 5, and then here at Pyro 4. So it definitely lasts quite a bit, and I do appreciate that. Of course, it has this whole living interior, which you could sustain yourself for a while. So I wish it was over 2.0, but that's fine. 1.7 seems to be about average for a ship like this. Now, you also have a cargo grid on this ship, which I've been able to put quite a few things on. You can't walk an ATLS up on this, but we were able to tractor beam one right through the bottom ramp and put it right on the grid. You also have the ability, of course, to put size 2 or size 1 boxes on that grid. Anything bigger, you won't be able to fit through the entry point. And we were able to bring a dragonfly right up into there and set it on there, no problem. A little bit of a tight squeeze. It's a little uncomfortable when you smack your head above on the ship above you, but it does work as seen here on screen. Now let's take a look at the ship. We're walking up to it right now. We do have quite the crew complement on there. Even though it's a ship meant for one, you can carry much more than that, and we'll take a look at why. You do have 2 entry points on this ship, which is hilarious, right? You have 2 entries on this clipper, which is not anywhere near the size of an MSR, yet that thing only has 1. Hopefully we'll see an update for that sooner rather than later. Now, looking here, you got this one here, which is your forward ramp, which just screams Star Wars to me. This whole ship kind of does. And then you have, of course, the ability to go straight to the 2nd floor using this nice elevator. So this takes you to the 2nd floor. That's your 1st floor. So I'm going to bring this right back up so we can explore the 1st floor. Now, I have my graphics settings a little bit different, my brightness, gamma, contrast, so it's going to be a little darker in here. So I will go ahead and turn on my flashlight when looking around. Now, when you enter, you can definitely close this up, and let's watch that really quick. And you can kind of even see, you can store something right on this ramp and come all the way back here. It looks pretty cool. A lot of space back here. You can hide some things, right? And then if you walk even further, here's your cargo grid. So again, 12 SCU on this grid, and size 2 SCUs, size 1 SCUs fit perfectly in here, and it looks great. It's even almost like outlined that way as well. 2 sizes right there, and the ones there. It's a fantastic looking type of ship here. And then of course you got just really good general design all around the walls. Looks fantastic. Typical Drake, you just have the padding here, no armor or anything on there. So we're gonna go ahead and climb up this to the 2nd floor and start taking a look here. Right here is a big, beautiful engine, and it looks really cool. You can see the smoke kind of getting sucked in there when you look with your flashlight. It looks fantastic, looks mean, looks dark, looks very Drake. Very, you put your hand up there, and you might not have a hand anymore. And then right to your left, you have some component access here. Power plant, battery, and you can open all these up, and it looks really nice. So components pass, that's always a brilliant thing when you're coming into a brand new ship. Thank you, CIG. And then you have a fire extinguisher area here, missing the fire extinguisher, so Drake doesn't give that to you with the purchase, sadly. And then right behind you, you're gonna start seeing a lot of your medical equipment. So first, you have the digital medical assistant right here. It is a tier 3 bed, once again, so don't expect it to do anything more than a short distance, as well as only minor injuries. And then right here, you have the bed itself. Looking really nice. It looks fantastic. Someone's right now on there and taking care of themselves. And this is where you'd go ahead and take care of your medical gel. So go ahead and close that on up, but it is hidden right behind this panel labeled medical gel. And then of course, if you turn right on around, you'll see here First, you have a nice little area to store some things, which is really nice. Put some medical pens and things in there. And then right above that, you have personal storage, which has 1,350,000 micro SCU right here at the top, and it looks quite fantastic. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next room. Oh, by the way, any area that you see no appropriate item with a big open square, this is where you're going to be able to put posters, paints, any sort of things there. They do hang up there. So now I'm going to go ahead and move into the next room. Nothing on this wall. Right over here to the left, again, right over here to the left, this is the crafting table. It comes with the screen, the crafting table. You wouldn't want to sit up there. It's a terrible idea. It says hot surface. So if you crafted something, you probably just burnt the crap out of yourself. But this is your crafting table, which will be used hopefully soon and not later, maybe even in December. Right across from that, nothing else, just some paneling, and we'll make our way here. I feel like the lights are off in this part of the ship here. Let's see, lights off, lights on. A little bit brighter, gotta love that. You have 2 rifle racks here, 2, 3, 4 handgun racks there, and then of course 2 areas for any sort of tools, and of course a nice little area for your armor when we're able to go ahead and store that. Over here is that elevator that you would take down to the ground or up to your 2nd level when you're ready. And of course, you can open it from both down there and right here. And then we're going to make our way up to the next level, which is a 3rd level. And yes, it's a 3-story ship. Isn't that just crazy? First, we'll go into this room here, which is where you're going to be spending a lot of your time relaxing, taking a look at your drinks, drinking your drinks, taking a look at your guns, whatever you want to do. And of course, you got a nice sink area, nice area to make food. Right behind that, a little storage area. Probably put some stuff right here. You got your bed, which looks really nice. And you can even turn on and off the little light that goes above it. But of course, we have enough lighting problems right now. It takes a second to turn off. Give it a break. And then, of course, you have more poster areas here, over here. Even on the back side of this right here, you have another poster area. It's very dark in here. I apologize, even with my settings. But here we go. Another personal storage with 650,000 micro SCU. Looks fantastic and able to put even more storage here on the ship. You do also have the bathroom. So we'll go ahead and open that up. And Drake gets an official toilet. The toilet of Drake, as well as a shower that's leaking. So you'll have to take care of that sooner or later. But you can go ahead and open that on up and have a good old time right here when you need to. No toilet paper though, so good luck with that. Maybe just use the shower. It's kind of like its own little bidet. You just gotta maybe leave the door open so you can get that angle right. So good luck. It's at least better than a bucket. So. And then when you walk into the back, here is a lot of your components, including your engineering station, which coming soon in 4.5 December, we're going to see this become active, as well as another fire extinguisher area. And if you walk past that, of course, more areas for more components. Looks good. And look at that. Gravity generator. That's going to be good. Radar, shields, all sorts of different component access. And of course, we're going to take a look at another little feature. This is where you're going to, supposedly, you would take out your component and put them right through this door. Let's take a quick look.
Hey, can you pull that lever over there?
Sure thing.
Wrong lever!
Now that you've seen what that door can do, you got to be very careful about how you're operating in your ship and pulling what buttons and levers. Now, when you make your way into the cockpit area, you do have 2 nice seating areas here, which I'm going to sit down right on the one that's not even open. So fantastic. Looking good. I'm just going to act like I'm sitting down, but we'll go ahead and reset that really quick. So close that. And so you have nice seats here. You have seats in here and not even in an Apollo, right? So 2 jump seats for anybody on board with you while you're flying this thing. Of course, you have nice little components here with the relays on the right, and then of course your oxygen life support relay right there in the middle. Pretty cool. Now let's go ahead and get into the pilot seat and take a look at how that looks. It's a pretty decent view, and you feel so high off the ground because you really are, and it's a pretty neat thing to say the least. So let's take a look. You have 1, 2, 3 MFDs, the radar right in front, and of course you do have your fan right here. Ah man, this ship is darker than most ships with my graphics settings. So I do run it at a 56, 46, 62 graphics setting. So surprisingly, I didn't expect it to be that dark in this ship. Maybe the lighting that we'll get here soon will help with that, but we'll see. You can even turn off the lights in your cockpit from right here and turn them back on. You have the exit button, all sorts of different buttons up here. It is really nice, a fantastic looking ship. For it being one of the first generalist ship, if not the first generalist ship, it's a very neat design. I would have to say this ship comes with pretty much everything you need. Its firepower, of course, is limited for what it is, but still over 2,000 burst damage per second. You're gonna do great out there against those PvE targets and have a good time. She's just got a very big body, so you got to be very careful about how you take on targets and everything like that. So honestly, just like the prior two releases that I've already reviewed at IAE, this ship is going to get quite a score, sitting at a 96 out of 100 for me. Let me know what you think of the Clipper down in the comments below. Is this a ship you plan on buying, or have you already acquired it? What do you love about this ship? Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. You all are truly amazing. And of course, I'll see you all in the next one. If you're building a new PC, go through longshipindustries.com, a veteran-owned mom-and-pop business that takes pride in every single build. He built my personal rig, which you can actually see featured on the website. The care, warranty, and customer support are top tier. Trust Longship Industries for your next build.